Hi Caitlin. Alright, so here is your past life spread. So what we're going to do is go to where you were, what you did with the majority of your time, an important day with the feelings or the relationship and feelings involved, another important day, the death and lesson learned, and we'll get hints of time throughout this. And so all I'm going to do is relay to you images and impressions that are already coming through, and your job's going to be to try to make connections where you can based off of what comes through in your current life, and I'll try to help how I can, okay? So already what I'd like to do is let you know what's coming through are, as I'm shuffling, lots of emotions. There's something very, very bittersweet about this and heavy feeling, and so there's going to be a few interesting things, I think, some points that I want to get to. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's just sometimes, like, if my voice is like mellow like this, it's because like this is what the reading's gonna be like. It's interesting. Other times I'm like super hyper. So let's see what happens here. All right, so let's start. So where we're going is this card is the Asia card, as far as like, oops, sorry, trying to get out of the shadow. There we go. Okay. As far as, you know, where we're going, so it's a continent, lots of places here. Okay. So what I need to mention about this is this card does not feel like where we are starting out. So it doesn't feel like this land is your homeland. What I was strongly felt was that the homeland felt much more, I hate to say this word, I don't know why I hate this word, but like Aryan. I don't know how else to put it. Almost like white bread, like Ireland is what it really, like the UK, Wales, something over there is what it felt like. And it felt like there was something about being deeply rooted, deeply connected. I just want to go ahead and say Ireland because that's just what it felt like. And what they show me, so like the image that came through, and we'll get to the Asia continent because that's going to be coming in. But what I want you to connect with here first is the idea of what the image they showed me was of, and we're looking at a female aspect of you, and this female aspect is fair-skinned, and it's like a blonde with a, what do they call it, where it's like a reddish thing, like a strawberry-ish blonde, more on the blonde side than strawberry, but that's the color we're going for. Now, it also shows me the dress attire, which is going to help us with the time period. So the dress attire is, imagine, have you ever heard of the American Girls? The American Girl Company? So if you were to Google American Girl Company and look up the girl Kirsten, she wears a blue dress with like a white apron or something like that. But that's what they're showing me is this blue long sleeve dress, cotton, that goes to the wrists, the sleeves, and it goes down to the ground, and it's like a white apron. And so the time period, it feels like we're looking at something, it could be around like the cusp of the turn of the century for 1800s to 1900s. So like the cusp of the 20th century, I think that's what they, and it could, if anything, it would be before that. So it wouldn't be anything past 1905-ish. I know that's like specific, and then I say ish, so, well, bear with me. So it would be before that. So maybe even like mid to late 1800s is where we're kind of like looking at this thing. So, now, what this woman is doing, this aspect is looking out of a window, and there is an ocean. So there is a coast. So she's living on a coast, and there is the ocean, and there is a feeling of, it's like a yearning, but not to travel. It's a yearning almost like missing someone that is gone. Because there's a feeling of not wanting to cross the ocean. That is what I was getting even when I was shuffling. So it's still coming through strongly here. And so we're going to get to this in a second, but you have to know how to make connections, right? So first you can make direct connections or indirect. A direct connection would be if you are pulled to that time period, either in school you liked learning about it, or maybe you even read books like the American Girl Company books, and that might have been your favorite character is Kirsten during that time period that she was. In fact, the time period she's in might might align with what we're looking at here. So we're looking at that time period as a connection. We're looking at the attire. So are you someone that likes to wear blue? Do you like blue, or even specifically blue dresses? Is your favorite dress blue? Do you like dresses with sleeves? It might not, you know, they make them so they don't look old-fashioned these days, but do you actually like that old-fashioned looking kind of like feminine dress kind of thing? That would be a connection. So, okay, so then the indirect connection to this would be if you're a tomboy and maybe you want to get away from dresses, or maybe, what is it? Maybe you like to travel. Maybe you love to travel over the ocean. Maybe instead of wanting someone to come from the ocean, you want to go across the ocean. I mean, I know that's kind of random, but that is how you make an opposite connection, like literally an opposite connection. So just keep in mind when we go through the rest of this, you can make direct connections based off what comes directly through, or your soul, having experienced this, could very likely want to experience something very, very different. And that's why we have the indirect connections, or the opposite, I should say, opposite connections, not indirect. So keep that in mind. Ireland. So do you feel pulled towards, I'm just going to say like UK, Wales, Ireland, like that kind of thing, because they're all pretty similar. But are you pulled towards Ireland? Have you ever been interested in going? Have you been? An opposite connection would be you're like, it's boring. Everyone wants Ireland. I'm sick of hearing about Ireland. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. You're like, I don't care about Ireland. So just keep in mind those kinds of connections you could be making. Now, let's see what else is there. Okay. There's also this idea, really quick, before we just keep going on, of this thing about looking out a window is very vivid. Do you look out a window? Is that where you can sit and just be and like fall into a relaxed state of mind, almost like trance? There's something about water. Does water trance you out? When I say trance, I just mean get you in a zoned out place in your head where if you're sitting there looking at the water, it's just like, it puts you in a place. You know what I mean? If not, try it, see what happens. Because I feel like if you were to go to where there is a body of water, alone, quiet, sitting there and looking out and allowing yourself to zone out, I have a feeling you'll be able to recall these memories even more vividly and make connections and fill in any gaps we might have, okay? So keep that in mind. That also might be a really good place for you just to meditate. Some people are water people. Me, I need to be in the mountains. I'm not so everyone's different, but water might really do wonders for you. All right, so when this card comes in, the Asia card, it feels like this is a woman who was pulled out of her home environment and made to move far away. It's almost how we today, like army brats, I guess they're called, like where they, I hate that term, army brats, but you know what I mean, like where you have to move with your family because dad or mom's in the army and you gotta go, and you don't have a say. And that's what it feels like here. It feels like you don't have a say and you are uprooted from this place that you feel very comfortable and connected with, and you are disconnected from it physically and made to move. And it feels like, I'm trying to see, because there's something about like marriage involved. Like there's something about putting you into society, taking you away from the country, putting you into society. So it feels like there is an arrangement where you are sent or brought to another land that is completely foreign, but it has a lot of opportunity. Okay, yeah, okay. So this feels like there's something about you have a unique beauty, and there's something that the person you were yearning for across the ocean mentioned you, could not stop talking about you and your unique beauty. There's something about the eyes. There's something like, it's like your eyes are gray, and there's something there are features about this aspect of you that are incredibly beautiful, uniquely so. And it's almost like one blue eye, one gray eye. Anyway, so And that could be a little connection for you. It could be like, have you ever been drawn to people with gray eyes or blue eyes, or are you someone that you see those dogs, you know, that have like a blue eye and a brown eye, and you're like, oh my God, I need that dog. Like, I need to have this in my life. I know it sounds so weird, but it's just little random things like this that you can connect to. You might connect to. So, okay, so it feels like they mentioned, and it's like it's almost like they're doing a bargaining thing having to do with business where there's going to be imports, exports, and they mention you, and someone is quite taken with the description and they want to see you, and it's almost like, we're not going to close the deal unless I can see this woman you speak of, you know, almost like, prove it. So that's what it feels like. And so you are either called to or brought, or whatever it is, you're brought over there. I'm trying to see where we are. So if you look at the continent of Asia, it's huge. Okay, we're going more east. Hold on, we're going more east. It almost feels like Japan. Okay, so what we're doing is we're going, okay, so if you look at a map and you look at Japan, and then if you just jump over to across over here, I think that's Russia. If that is Russia, there is something going on in this thing about the coast of Russia and Japan. And it's something about, I don't know if it's you had to stop in Russia and then hopped over to Japan, and that was the last time you saw a mainland, and there's something very like nostalgic or bittersweet about that. It's like a heavy feel because I get emotions too. It's very interesting. The last leg of it. So I want to just go ahead and put you in Japan. And I feel like we're looking at a business transaction happening, and you're part of it, between the Ireland or the UK and Japan. And now, so what I want you to do with this information is go ahead and Google and see about trades or business, export, imports between, first check Ireland and then the UK and Japan at this time period, at the cusp of this 20th century. See what's going on with dealings there. See what the see if there is a dealing going on, and then see what is being traded. And the thing being traded, if there's something you come across that you vibe with, that would be another connection. But there's also this thing about leaving the mainland and going to an island. So, oh, okay. So one, you might have a fear of crossing large bodies of water, or you might have a fear of boats, or it doesn't have to be fear. It could also be a trepidation or something that's like, ugh, man, like exasperate, like you don't want to do that, or that's not your gig, or something like that. The idea of going to an island, but this isn't an island that is tropical. This is Japan. So this is more like it's not like you're not always aware that you're on an island, because again, it's not like a Hawaii island. So I don't know if there would be any connection about you with islands. Either one, you might really enjoy islands that are more like if you like islands that are very tropical, that could make sense, because that is, you know, when you think of an island, you think of Hawaii, like that kind of thing. On the other hand, you could be someone that's like, I don't care to go to an island. I want to visit, you know, these big cities on the mainland. Like I want to go to Paris. I want to go to you know, the mainland cities kind of destination. So there's basically what we're looking at here is something about going to a destination, and what the destination for you in your current life, what you desire when it comes to vacationing or going to a destination to travel to, and your preference. And we're playing with the idea of a mainland versus an island. How do you feel about it? Okay, so if there are any weird feelings about crossing the ocean, going to an island, that kind of thing, this would be speaking to that. And it would almost be like a message of, hey, you can do it, you should go ahead and try it if there's anything weird about it, because it's time to get over that, because this is where it comes from, any kind of weirdness when it comes to traveling to certain places. Okay, so Japan could be a connection. If you've ever felt pulled towards Japan, if you see photos of Japan, and I'm going to say okay, I'm going to actually say video, like of not video, sorry. So what's coming to mind is like the old Japanese movies, or actually those are Chinese, let's be real. But you know, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, like those movies. those are much further back in time than what we're looking at. However, we are looking at a time in Japan's history when it's not, super modern. This is back at the cusp of the century. So what I'd love for you to do, if you haven't already, go look at Japan photos, find photos of Japan from that time period, and just see how it hits you. See if you're pulled, see what it does to you on an emotional level, and go from there. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. We're looking at emotional triggers about Japan. Hold on. And then we got to do the opposite connection of if you're like, ugh, I never want to go to Japan. It's not my thing, but I know everyone's like, oh, they say it's cool, but So if you've ever had what's the word? Like a no, I don't want to go there kind of thing when it comes to Japan, that would make perfect sense as well, because here you are uprooted and taken somewhere else. Now, let's talk about that. I know there's a lot to get through, so just bear with me. The idea of being uprooted from your home, taken away, this talks about an issue with control. So in this life, do you feel like you need to have control over your being and your environment? And it doesn't have to be crazy control, but it could be. I mean, you know yourself, are you someone that needs to have control over like what is going on around you? Like, hold on. Let's get more specific here. So it's about, do you get aggravated when people tell you to be somewhere at a certain time? Do you feel aggravated when you are called away from what you are doing? Do you feel aggravated when you are jarred out of a state of mind where you are, let's say, comfortable and concentrated on something, and then somebody calls you over? Is that just completely exasperating to you? So if not, that's fine, but that would be a direct connection. Opposite would be like, oh, okay, I'm fine. Yeah, no, sure, I can help you with that. And then right back to what you were doing, right? So there's something about being uprooted. This sense, it's bigger. It's a bigger sense. So it could be even in your life, you might have experienced where you moved around a lot as a kid, as a direct connection to this, or kid into your adulthood, whatever it is. If you've moved around a lot, if you cannot get comfortable somewhere and root down into a community, that would make sense. However, the opposite would be if you fiercely want to root yourself down into a community and immerse yourself in a community and make friends, permanence, that can make a lot of sense too, because this person was uprooted from their community and brought over, and there was really nothing she could do about it. So keep that in mind. And that could actually speak a lot to any feelings you feel about, if you have homesickness in this life and you don't know why, but the feeling of homesickness, if you have a feeling of, what is it? Like a fear of losing permanency, a fear. Okay. This can cross over also into relationships. If you've been in relationships and you feel like the other shoe is going to drop, they're going to leave you, this isn't going to last. And it's almost like you build it up in your head and there's basically no reason to feel that way. That would come from this, because this person was just jarred out of their, it was a culture shock, huge culture shock. This is someone who lived in, let's say, Ireland their whole life. Can you imagine like living in a countryside in Ireland where everything is just easy breezy and you might be milking some cows and taking care of, the house, and then all of a sudden you are taken to a main port in Japan, and it's not even something you want to do, and you're trying to, actually, it's almost like you're trying to help someone. I mean, even though you're told to do it and you don't really have a choice, you want to help this person. I feel like it might even be your betrothed, or it could be, I hesitate to say, I don't want to say husband, I want to say it's a young man, and there's something. It's like an older brother. It's almost like it's your older brother, and I feel like your parents are dead, and it's just you and your older brother, and he is taking care of you, and so he's almost like your ward or your guardian, and you do his bidding, but there is respect between you, very much like love, like siblings, but he is very ambitious. This person, I feel like, is actually in your life at this time, or has been in your life, or will be, basically part of your current life. There's something karmic about this, where they are supposed to make sure that they don't boss you around again, or you are supposed to make sure that they do not boss you around again. If there is someone in your life coming to your mind right now, and I feel like this person would be a male again. Not necessarily, of course. These things work in mysterious ways, but it feels very like a male aspect, where you need to stand up for yourself and put your foot down and not do their bidding. If that is something that you connect with, that person is this person here, your older brother in another life. So keep that in mind. And if nothing comes to mind, for whatever we go through, you know, all this, just tuck it in the back of your head for later on, because things come up later on that will click, basically. So just bear with me. Now, so we're doing let's go ahead and move on. There's a lot here, but let's go ahead and move on. So this card is what you did with the majority of your time, but this card is the take care of me card, which is so ironic and makes perfect sense. You are being taken care of in every which way. And it's not like it's not like you're like, please take care of me, please like pay for everything, brr, brr, brr. It's not like that. It's just based on the time period and based on you being a woman in this time period and your status in however it is, you are taken care of because that's what's done. Again, your brother is taking care of you here, but it's just like, because you're a woman and what job are you going to do? You're not a prostitute. You're a nice, gentle woman, like, so you're being taken care of, and this continues throughout your life. So in your current life, you might find that you are in scenarios in your current life where you are taken care of, whether it's by your family or by a husband or a lover or whatever it might be. On the other hand, you can find that in this life, you're like, no, I want to be independent and I'm going to make my own money and I'm going to take care of myself and or maybe circumstances show themselves where you might have been taken care of at one time, and then you find that you're like, okay, time to get to work. Now I gotta, pull up those bootstraps and get to work, because in this time period now your soul wants to experience what it's like to be more self-sufficient. So it doesn't mean financially either. This is emotional as well. This is just you making sure that you feel independent, that you feel freedom. This is the idea, again, of being uprooted from a place, being told to go somewhere else. In this current life now, you have the right or the ability to be like, no, I want to stay here. This is my home. This is my house. I'm staying here. I get this. This is mine. That's what it feels like is coming through. So this is also a message for you to express yourself with what you want. If you have had issues with expression in your current life about expressing what it is you want, truly want, whether if it goes against the grain or if you're going to disappoint someone, don't hesitate is what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't disappoint someone. I'm saying don't hesitate. You need to be able to express yourself, express what you want, and especially when it comes to comfort, your physical and emotional comfort, you need to not be a people pleaser. Okay, so if you have kids, if you're a mother, I get it. Like, you have to, cater to kids sometimes, but you cannot cater to other people, whether it's a spouse or kids or best friends, whatever it might be, until you fill your own love bucket and make sure that you are comfortable before helping others or giving to others your time, your energy, that kind of thing. Make sure you are filling your own love bucket up first. You are here on your journey. You are not here to live for others. Sometimes we get this weird romantic notion, like we're here to live for someone else, even if it's our soulmate, whatever it might be. Karma might be involved, and that's cool. But ultimately, this is your individual soul journey. Yeah, we're all connected. We're all one. I get it. But, your soul is decided to come in as an independent person in this life. So this is your journey. Make sure you are filling your own love bucket. It's very important. You can be in a position of being taken care of, again, financially, but that doesn't mean that you owe anyone anything, okay? You have to understand that if someone is taking care of you, even financially, emotionally, physically, however someone is taking care of you, you have to understand that they are a grown person making their own decisions, and if they feel like, if it comes to the point where they're like, you don't give me anything back, and I feel like, that kind of thing, it's like, well, you made the choice to help me. So if you're not happy, then make the choice to leave. But just know that you don't owe anyone anything. Don't allow yourself to carry around any guilt about owing people something. You know what I mean? And a lot of times this is about, like, a spouse taking care of you, or even like that's a lot of us gals have daddy issues because they, you know, raised us and they took care of us and put shelter and food over, you know, like that kind of thing. So we're like, oh, whatever you want, dad. This is just an example, but just like that kind of example. Don't be that person. If you are, don't be it anymore. If you aren't, then that's because you've experienced it here and you're not supposed to in this life. But again, I just want to put it out there of just make sure you're not being a people pleaser where you are compromising your own values or happiness or health or peace of mind, okay? So keep that in mind. We're going to the first important day. Keep making connections. Oh, all right. First important day. So long, farewell, until we meet again card. So what we're actually looking at is, I got ahead of myself. This is you moving. So you're leaving your homeland and you're moving. And this card here is your soulmate card, okay? A soulmate card does not always mean romantic. Your best friend can be your soulmate. Your dog can be a soulmate. You could have many soulmates. So I'm trying to see which soulmate we're looking at here. Now this card is lonely, kind of a nostalgic, lonely kind of card. So we're seeing what's going on here. Okay. Okay. So what's happening is the soulmate is the land. The soulmate is the land. And the feelings coming through, I just got goosebumps and I'm quite sad. I almost want to cry. No, let's be real, I totally want to cry. But this is, the soulmate is the land, and so I feel very strongly like there is a land that you are supposed to, or not supposed to, but that you might really yearn to be connecting to in your current life, and you might not even know where. Maybe you do. Maybe if you've been wanting to visit a place, a different, feels like it would be a different country than where you are right now. But if there is a place you've been wanting to visit your whole life and you've just always kind of yearned or felt like, I want to go there, I want to go there, I need to go there, that kind of thing, this would be a message for you to start putting plans together to go. It's time to go. If you haven't been there yet and reconnected with the land that you're meant to, that I hate to say meant to and supposed to, because I don't like people feeling like, oh no, if I don't do it, I'm missing something I was supposed to do. So please don't take it like that, okay? Because every choice you make puts you on the path where you're supposed to be anyway. You know, some paths are just more enlightening than others, I suppose. But in this way, I guess what I'm just trying to say is there is a place. If you feel disconnected in life in some way, emotionally disconnected, if you've ever yearned to be somewhere else, there is a place where you will go, you can go. And if something comes to mind right now when we're talking, that's the place. And if you go there without expectation, just going there, just to feel it out, because expectation will kill it. Don't expect any crazy, amazing fireworks to go off, okay? It's just about going to this place where the energy is and reconnecting with the energy just peacefully. And that will fill you up in a way where afterwards, you're going to feel more peaceful and more settled and less disconnected if you feel those feelings, okay? So keep that in mind. You also might be someone who doesn't like, hold on, separation anxiety, there we go. So if you have separation anxiety, and this can be of a place or people, so if you feel, you know, easily is what I'm saying. Of course, like if you love someone and you know you're not going to see them for a long time, you know, that's, of course, you're going to be sad. But this is separation anxiety where it's like you might get a spike of panic or a spike of fear or a spike of depression. So if you have depressive bouts in your life, that is the disconnection. When you feel depressed and you really can't put a finger on to why, and it's not like, oh, I just broke up with someone, so I'm depressed. It's not like that. It's a depression. It's these little depressive bouts you get in where your heart feels like it's squeezed, or you're a yearning, a longing, whatever it might be, and you don't exactly know why. That is the disconnected feeling I am talking about here. And if you don't get that, awesome, great. But if you do, it would be this, and how that could be, I guess, I don't want to say the word cured, but how that can be satiated, or how that can be made to be altered in a more permanent way where you don't dip so often or anymore, would be to reconnect with the land. And I feel like the land we're talking about is going over to the UK, to Wales, to Ireland. There's something over there. It could be Scotland. It's the island. It's going to be an island. Like, you know, Ireland's is a island. Sorry, I can't speak. Like, there's a lot coming through. Sorry. The UK is an island, so there's something about the island. And honestly, when I pulled this, you know, right here, I was like, okay, which one's this going to be? I thought it was going to be the island, and it was this card. So the island's coming through. So it's actually, before I said you might not like an island because of Japan, but there's something about the island of Ireland that is actually very, like, warm and welcoming. So again, play with the theme of visiting an island in this way. It's very interesting. It's almost like I want to say go back to the island. It's weird. And it's funny because did you ever watch the show Lost? Like, I watched Lost. It's like, no, I don't want to go back to the island. But in this case, it's like go home. And then oh, okay. So there's an echo in my head where it's like, come home. Come home, come home. So weird. So it's bittersweet. It's not weird. I mean, it's weird, but you know what I mean? It's like this bittersweet feeling. And so okay. And then this lonely nostalgic feeling plays in with these depressive bouts, or if you get in bouts of loneliness too. So it could be depression, it could be loneliness, it could be both, whatever it is. If you ever feel lonely and you don't know why you feel lonely, like, you might feel lonely and there's people around you that you love, but you feel lonely, it would be come home. It's a bittersweet thing, but I feel like there is a reunion either coming up if you haven't had it yet, that kind of thing. So keep that in mind and keep making connections where you can. Also, I want you to play with the idea of soulmates. I want you to make the idea in your head about soulmates to be more expansive and fluid, rather than just, this is my soulmate, whoever it is, you know, we only get one, da-da-da. If that's in your head, that needs to go away. You need to redefine soulmate, and you need to expand it to the soulmate, meaning the land. And this also feels like you're supposed to be grounding yourself. You're supposed to be feeling the land that you're in right now, where you live. You need to learn to connect with it, if you haven't already, in a way that is more spiritual. Like, connect with the energy signature of the place where you live, so you know how to do it and you know what it feels like, so that when you do go to another place, maybe this place that we're talking about, you'll understand the difference between what it feels like to be in the country you're in now versus the country you'll go to, and feel that difference so that you can close the gaps in that different energy signature. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, just like let me know and I'll try to explain further, like after this reading, okay? So again, expand, redefine your idea of soulmate. And I feel like there's something also about how this is going to play into your relationships in life, because your soulmate can also be your best friend. And it could be, you know, if you're straight, it could be a same gender friend, you know, like a best girlfriend. That could be your soulmate. And this is a beautiful thing. Like, when you realize that people you've known in your life, when you connect with them and understand they're my soulmate, we're here to learn lessons from each other. And soulmate doesn't always mean good lessons. It can also mean, oh, we're soulmates, we're meant to, it could be like you're in a relationship where you fight a lot and you learn so much about yourself and then you part ways. It could still be a soulmate. And you could have a soulmate that you never see again, and they could still be alive walking the world. You know what I mean? And I know it sounds bittersweet, but it's also quite beautiful, because this person is part of your soul group. If it's a soulmate, they're part of your soul group. And you'll touch base again and again in lifetimes. Even if you don't like them now, you could be best friends and love each other in another life. You know what I mean? But in this case, we're talking about the land. So I feel like the land is coming up as your soulmate, because you are meant to learn how to connect with land, connect with the planet, connect with Mama Earth, ground yourself, go outside, go barefoot, go to the water. If you can go to a body of water, put your feet in the water, or the sand, or whatever, or a cliff, whatever kind of water you're near. Connect with the earth. Just, it might, and if you don't do this already, maybe you do, I don't know, you're the one getting a past life regression, so you totally might be like, oh, I know what grounding is, Laura, shut up. But if you haven't, this is a big message for you to ground, and if you do, ground more. And when you ground, connect more, where I even want you to speak to the land. I want you to have a conversation with the land, okay? However that feels to you. It could be words, it could be feelings. Try it, please. See what it does for you. See what comes from it, okay? Even journal. I want you to start journaling this. There's something about communicating with the land, okay? This is something about, I feel like this is even a gift that you have. A gift, like everyone can connect and ground, and yes, Mother Nature is there for all of us, but there is something more about this. I feel like you will discover a gift in this, and it's almost like you will be able, something about communication. If you ground and you learn how to do this, you'll be able to communicate so much more finely in so many more ways to so many more different types of people and even help them in some way. There's something here. There's something here. Keep making connections where you can though, okay? So connect there, okay. So we're gonna go to the next important day. All right, wow. So this is the birth card. This can mean you can be witnessing a birth, giving birth. It can be, sometimes it's the person's birth. This one feels like you are giving birth. This card, the relationship, is the spouse card. So now we're looking at spouse. So see up here is soulmate. Sometimes I get the soulmate card for spouses, but here we're getting the spouse card because we are talking about you marrying into something in the new land. You are a trophy wife. You're a trophy wife. Ooh, okay, interesting. The feeling card here. So it was pulled, and okay, this is a first for me actually. I'm really excited. So this card was pulled like this. So basically facing this is facing me. This right here, you see how it's choppy, boom, 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 choppy, and then it smooths out here. Do 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 do. So usually I don't really care when the cards are turned a certain way. You know how sometimes in tarot they're like, oh, it came out opposite, and I don't do that. But with this one, it literally wants to be read this way for a certain reason. So and this card is also like, the feeling is like, it's like, it's a weird card. I mean, like this whole deck I made is like totally like it basically channeled or whatever, so sometimes the cards mean different things, for different readings or whatever. And this one, literally, it's not even, it doesn't even, it feels like hope. We'll put it that way. It feels like hope, but it's not hope for this life here. It's hope for your future life. It's like a burst of hope that in the future, if you come back again, you don't have to be at the whim of another person. So it feels like the birth of this child was not your decision. Like you got married, you were married as a trophy wife, and you had a child that is a trophy child, and it's because you're a pretty white woman and you married into a, I want to say, a very well-to-do Japanese family. And there's something about that that might put you off right now if you're hearing that. And so you can connect with that in your current life. If you've ever been married, or if you are, it's almost, I want to say, like, if you've been married, if you've had more than, this is gonna sound, okay, so just bear with me. Okay, I'm just gonna like blah. Okay, so if you got married and divorced, if that's the case, that first marriage might have been more shallow, we'll say, and then if you're out of it, the next one will never be, you will never have to worry about that again. Then if you are not married right now, you will come across a partner that will value your beautiful soul, okay? If you're married if you're in a first marriage right now and it's not feeling too hot, it could very well be because you are not feeling valued for who you are and who you are becoming, and you're not being encouraged to become your greatest masterpiece, that you hit your potential on emotional levels. It could be that you feel valued for the wrong reasons. If you're in a marriage and you're quite content, it's because you're finally with someone, not this person, you're with someone who values all of your beautiful aspects at all of the layers and levels, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, all that beautiful stuff, okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, this was a child born out of duty and obligation. In your current life, if you feel like you never want children, that's a-okay, and that would make sense because of this. if in your current life you have children and you wanted children, it's because here you didn't want children because of the, you know, what's going on here, the circumstances. It's like there's no love there. And so in your current life, you could be desiring, or like if you have kids or if you want kids, it would come from a desire purely out of love and wanting to be in love with someone and having children with a person that you love and adore, right? So it's about the reasons behind having children, or if not wanting children. Let's say you have kids and you never wanted kids. That's okay too. That's you're human. You know, we don't know what it's like to be a mother or have children until they're here. So, but just play with the idea of your theories or ideas or feelings about having kids, wanting kids, that kind of thing. And don't feel pressured to have children or to have more children, if that makes sense. So I don't even know why I'm bringing this up, and I'm sorry if I am, and and it's weird or whatever, but let's say you had a first marriage, or in the future there's another marriage, something happens, I don't know. I'm not saying there is going to be any kind of thing happen. I'm just saying if. Don't feel pressured to have children if you don't want them with a new partner, okay? The new partner will be, if there is a new partner, the right person is not going to make you feel pressured to having kids. There you go. If you don't want them, okay? So just bear in mind. I know a lot of weird stuff. Just connect with what you connect with, and what you don't connect with, tuck it away. Everything I say here, it has to resonate with you. Anything anyone ever tells you, like on a psychic intuitive level, it's got to resonate with you, okay? Don't just take everything basically take everything with a grain of salt. This is what I'm saying, because it has to resonate with you, with your heart and soul, okay? But this card, I do need to touch on this card more than anything, because when I laid it down, I instantly felt like we're actually talking about more about your current life than this life, okay? The hope comes for the current life. That's what I mentioned. Hope for the future from here. But this is current. This is letting you know, this is a message. This is letting you know anything rocky in your past, anything rocky going on right now, the struggle, it's going to smooth out. Keep your eye on the prize. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. If you don't see it, have faith. It's hard to keep it going sometimes. Have faith. This smooth stuff, all the smoothness, just get through the rocky shit. Get through the rocky crap. The smooth sailing is coming. If you haven't already noticed yourself hitting a stride, if you're still in the struggle, whether it's mental, emotional, dealing with relationships, dealing with issues going on, it will smooth out. Excuse me, I almost choked on my own saliva just now. It will smooth out, okay? I promise. Like, it's going to be so much more smoother. It doesn't mean that there aren't going to be things coming up, but in the future, it's going to be so much more easily handled. And I also feel like if you do we're talking about you grounding, and also something about meditating near the water. And I feel like if you, again, and then filling your love bucket up, putting yourself first in that way, not being a people pleaser. When you work on all these little aspects, this is the prize. Smooth sailing and being able to handle and manage any hiccups that might come up in the future with tons more patience, grace, gratitude, and understanding. And that is everything. So it's like, I feel like it's everything you could want out of life. It's coming, it's there, it's like you're just, when I say dipping toe into the water, putting your toe in the water, it's almost like, you know how you feel the water before you jump in and have a great time? I feel like you're at the point right now where you're dipping your toe in to feel it out, but you don't have to worry. It's going to be fun. It's going to be good. So just keep that in mind. I feel like this card is, I just want you to feel this card. Like, feel it out, you know? It's good. It's really good. So keep that in mind. Keep making connections here where you can, okay? Now let's go to the death. So this card is the murder card, and really, it doesn't always mean like malicious murder, like, I'm going to stab you with a knife. It's not like that. This also means like it's either intentional or someone killed you, and it could be by accident. We do have an accident death card, but murder, like we've had it where it's like someone's murdered because they thought, like the murderer thought they were someone else. Like, you know what I mean? So it's still murder, but it wasn't intentional either. It was an accident in that case. So keep that in mind. I feel like this card is attached to the child card. Hold on. I'm trying to see, like, it's a feeling with the child. I'm trying to see if you died in childbirth or if you died as a result. Because, hold on. Let me just feel this out for a second. Seeing what they show me. Okay, got it. All right, so they're showing me you giving, you're in labor in a room. It's a nighttime labor. The child is born. It's a boy, large boy. Yeah, hurts the inside of you. Internal bleeding. So they take the child out of you. They show you the child. You get to hold the child. And then you pass within hours or the hour. It doesn't hurt. It's a fading away. You're falling asleep because you're losing so much blood. So it just feels like you're very, very tired. And then you go to sleep and you don't wake up. And the murder card comes in because it's a technicality where the childbirth killed you. So it's the child that resulted in your passing. But there is no karma related. You didn't blame the child. The karma more so still heavily lies in the brother figure. And I almost wanted to say the husband aspect, but I'm not going there. I don't feel like that's even playing in. It's the brother. So I feel like as you're falling asleep, there's a last few thoughts, and one of them is lingering on the brother figure. Almost, it's not like you're cursing him like, damn you, because of you I am in this predicament and I am dying. It's not like that. It's just like lingering on the sibling and almost like, why? Like that feeling like why, brother? Like it's kind of like a weird bittersweetness, but you're also just out of it and you're fading. So this can result, so in your current life, if you have chronic fatigue, if you get dizzy, and then if you have issues with your insides, like your childbirthing areas, so like this could come up as like endometriosis kind of stuff, like your female parts. So if you have any issues with your female parts, if you get tired easily, if you feel dehydrated, if you get dehydrated easily as well, and then so basically that's it. So if you connect with those in any way, just know that they stem from another life, and you can get rid of that, and you could through hypnosis or meditation, or just simply realizing, oh, this doesn't serve me anymore, I don't need to feel this, it's not even, it's just residue, you know. You can get rid of the chronic fatigueness or dehydration in that way. Just drink water more. And the woman issues. So if you have had problems with fertility or infertility or anything like that, and you want more children, if you want that, I would suggest go ahead and go look up a hypnotherapist that specializes in fertility. And this might be very interesting to see how that might work. Okay? And if none of that connects with you, great, don't worry about it. Now, the lesson here is simplicity, and I've been getting this a lot lately. So the simplicity is what you yearn for. So this is where you were uprooted from a simple life where you were happy, and you were brought to a place where a lot of people would be like, oh, this is a happening place. This is really cool. What a cool lifestyle. I'm gonna just jump right in and you know, that kind of thing. It's like, you're like, no, I miss my countryside. I miss my home. So this is just a calling card to you, basically. It's like calling you back home. The simple life is calling you back. So this is also a message for you to simplify in your current life, just to declutter. This also, what I feel is coming up, is to do a sweep of your home and get rid of things that you no longer find joy in or find necessary. Yep, okay, Maria Kondo. So look at Marie Kondo, you know, the whole like throwing away, you know, simplifying, minimizing, ugh, I can't speak today. There's something about decluttering your home because it's going to help declutter your mind. If you're somebody that overthinks things, spiraling thoughts, overanalyzing, reading into things, decluttering the space around you is going to be very helpful in your journey of decluttering your mind and learning to have more discipline in your mind and thoughts when it comes to that. It's almost like simplify your thoughts. Don't overdo it because it's almost like unnecessarily piling things into your head that you don't need. You need to make space. Once you make space, you're going to be able to I want to say tap into your intuition in a big way where you'll be able to literally, like how I'm saying like talk to the land. You'll be able to talk to your soul and your oversoul and God and spirit. You need to create space in your head though. Like get out of your own way. This is get out of your own way. Remember, you know what it's like to live simply and happily. You know what it's like to be torn from that. So it's almost like your soul wants to be called back to the simple and happy, or at least it's almost like you're supposed to be, I hate the supposed to be, sorry, I'm not going to say that anymore. You can call in to you in your current life, you can call back the soul aspect here that I feel like you lost, that is simple and happy, a simply happy aspect. It's there. You just have to tap into it. Now that you know about it, you can tap into it. With these past lives, when you know about things, about your other aspects, you can always tap into them anytime, okay? So anyway, there is your past life. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're able to make some connections at least, and reach out if you have any questions, and thank you for letting me read you.